Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign. This is going to be your mid-March 2020 reading. As always, if you like this video, please do like, share, comment, whatever, subscribe, all the good things. I'm posting these videos to YouTube and to Instagram, so several different options there. Also open for personal readings. I do them over the phone as well as recorded if that's something that you're interested in. Okay, so you can book a reading through my website, or if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm seeing the Moon card, as well as, what is this one? I believe the Magician, number one, the Magician. The Moon and the Magician. Maybe you're working on things no one knows about. That's what it feels like a little bit. Okay, what are the messages for Libra? The number 7 coming up for you here twice. Standing your ground, practicing patience and planning. What are the messages for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Spirit? Patience, that came out for, what was the last reading that I did? I think it was Taurus. Triumphant success and prosperity begins. All of these have actually come out in previous readings. There's a lot of overlapping energies coming up. Feels good. Double number ones there. So your numbers are 1, 7, and 14 so far. Firm foundation. In the reverse there, I don't really read reversals in this deck. Wow, Libras, there's a lot of physical changes happening for you with all these red border cards. Spiritual union, number 2, coming up at the bottom of the deck. You might be meeting a soulmate. I see the Lovers here at the bottom. Let me just show you those side by side. Lovers and soulmate, spiritual connection. I love it. Lots of emotional happenings for you. I feel like you've been doing a lot of inner emotional work and transformation, and now you're about to see the physical manifestations of that. Feels really good. So number 14, patience. This is, I believe, the Temperance card, Sagittarian energy. Okay, with all of this red reminds me of fire, and I already have filmed Sagittarius. So like I said, there's a lot of overlaps coming up here. I think Sagittarius had the prosperity begins card, but can't exactly remember. I love this card. It actually reminds me of Magician energy, with the figure having, this imagery has been coming up a lot, having planted and sown the seeds. Now they're starting to bear fruit and come to fruition. Okay, you have had the patience, you need to continue to have patience. Okay, lots of changes I'm feeling as well coming up with this card. And it's also, to me, this card, the imagery on the card really shows like that connection between the spiritual, the magical there, with that stream of sort of smoke or mist, whatever, as well as the physical, the literal, with the seed and then the plant growing from that seed. And you can see it's like half and half on each side of the card. So it's like you need a bit of both. Okay, honoring and following your truth here. Number 1, it's almost like following your true north. A lot of imagery coming up, and you guys know I talk about this in my readings a lot, just connecting with and following and listening to your intuition, to what really feels right and feels good for you, who and what, right? With triumphant success there, it's almost to me like a judgment energy, a rebirth kind of energy, coming up out of the ground there with the sword, the Ace of Swords, the truth card, so to speak. I think this is going to be the one that I read for this reading, and then we'll get into the other cards. I just love this card so much because, again, it reminds me so much of that Ace of Swords. And I did see there's a lot of like newness, fresh new beginnings, especially as we saw with that spiritual union and the Lovers card. Definitely in a connection here for you Libras. Could be like a renewed passion, or perhaps there is I think in one of the last readings, you know, I felt a lot of fertile energy, right? So it could be the birth of a baby. That could be new love coming into your life as well, right? So it says the first of the mental cards signifies that new beginning and new beginnings and exciting challenges may be before you. By utilizing your strength, willpower, determination, and focus, there's the potential for you to reign triumphant in many areas in your life. In traditional tarot, this card represents the Ace of Swords, and since a sword is double-edged, it can cut through all the barriers that hold you back if it's done constructively and with precision. Remember that there's another side to the blade. If you're rash or use it in a destructive way, it could be harmful to yourself and others. Always pause and think before you act. This card is a reminder to vanquish negative thoughts from your mind, strengthen and tap into your mental powers, and use clarity with control in order to initiate new ways of thinking. Feels very Scales of Justice-esque, Libra, which is your tarot card, right? But needing to maintain and have that balance, whereas patience and temperance comes in as well, okay? And what happens when you do that and you employ that, right? And you have taken the steps to plant the seeds and sow the seeds that you want to grow. Here they are growing and coming to fruition, bearing fruit, right? Here with the Prosperity Begins, again, could be dealing with a Sagittarius, as this card, I believe, did come up in the Sagittarius reading as well. Again, a duplication there of the numerological significance for the number 1, which denotes new beginnings as well as manifestation, okay, especially with the double ones here, number 11, okay, with the triumphant success and prosperity begins. Following your truth, following your quote-unquote light leads to this. Feels really good, okay? So under patience, we do have firm foundation. You may be struggling with your foundation right now. It could be that you're having some questions or doubts or struggles in your home environment, perhaps lots of like moves, but needing to sort of, or traveling, okay, but needing to also be flexible with those plans is coming up right now. This could also be just be speaking to you and how you're feeling internally. Perhaps you're feeling very up and down emotionally, mentally, or otherwise. Totally understandable with what we're dealing right now physically as well. If it's physical, you know, I would encourage some physical activity, whether that be dance, yoga, walking. Those are some of my favorites, but obviously biking, swimming, whatever is going to really help to ground you here. I'm seeing tree pose and mountain pose specifically in yoga. And there's also a focus here on your back, okay? And this alchemical symbol for fire, taking action, which is Aries energy that will be going into shortly by the end of this month. We'll be going into Aries season, okay? Also leaning on your support systems here, okay? I feel like that may be something that you're working through, perhaps even questioning or doubting right now, is who and what around you that you can trust. Again, tap into your inner knowing and intuition to suss that out and figure that out, okay? Under triumphant success, and this is why, because you have partnerships and alliances. So there are people and things that you can rely on for support, for advice, for that firm foundation here that you're trying to build. But you need to have discernment about that, okay? About in terms of who and what it is that you're trusting, talking to, getting advice from, that kind of thing, okay? With this partnerships and alliances card, there may be certain connections, partnerships, relationships, alliances that you are working on getting rid of right now, okay? I'm not seeing that necessarily specifically in the reading, a little bit with that triumphant success, because it does beget sort of that King of Swords, Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords. Again, no nonsense. It's like once you know who and what is for you, what aligns with you, you get rid of everything else that doesn't, so that it doesn't serve to get in the way. Okay, and then under Prosperity Begins, you have Material Harvest here. This came up, what was the first reading that I did? Gemini, I believe. It came up either in Gemini or Sagittarius or something like that. These cards definitely came up with these red physical borders. So you may have those placements in your chart, or you may be dealing with someone of that sign. This is just a really great positive indicator again, in terms of physical, tangible changes that are going on and happening for you feels very, very good here, Libras. I'm super happy to see this for y'all, especially with your energy, that air energy at the center of the reading. So for the Oracle guidance, I'm going to use Talking to Heaven Mediumship cards. I've been using these for all the signs. This advice can be messages from your higher self. They can be messages from other souls that you are connected with on the earth plane, but may not be in communication with, or may not be in close physical proximity to, okay? Or they can be messages from people who around us who have passed away. There's been strong messages coming up of not being afraid, okay? I feel like, especially as we go into Aries season, as things start to sort of normalize societally, globally, nationally, whatever, and we're ready to sort of put into practice what we've been thinking about, what we've been sort of planning around, that there might be some hesitancy based in fear, okay, or whatever other feelings might come up around that, and we're getting called to not do that. I've been seeing that message a lot of do not be afraid, okay? And for most of the signs that I filmed so far, I've done about half of them, okay? These have been messages from a deceased or departed loved one. So I'm getting similar energies for y'all. A card down here. Oh, this is nice. It is beautiful where I am. I'm gonna read this for y'all. It is beautiful where I am. I feel like that's something for us to remember at all times, right? To observe the beauty in where we are. But this is going to be a little bit of a different message. So it says, I wish that for just a moment I could share my world with you. This heavenly realm is beyond description. It is where colors, hues, and patterns of all different types sing and come alive. Here there is a brilliant light that permeates everything, and everything in turn is filled with indescribable joy. Here, you suddenly become aware that you are connected to everything. There is no anger or hardness in this world. Those emotions have been replaced with overwhelming peace and joy. It is love at its finest. It is heaven, the place where I will be waiting to greet you one day, okay? And this is super interesting because, like I mentioned, all of the readings that I've done so far, so this is now the 7th, all of them have been messages from, I sense, a deceased or departed loved one. And one thing I said, I think it was like in the Taurus or Aquarius readings, I can't remember, is that once you, right, which, and keep in mind that there are going to be a number of people transitioning currently, okay? But once you transition to, we'll just say the other side, for lack of a better phrase, there's only a certain vibration or frequency that you can sort of operate in at that level. And it's one of love, it's one of joy, of happiness, of beauty. And that's what this card is really speaking to. And that is when we are surrounded and we feel the energy of our ancestors or of our departed loved ones, that is the energy that they are imbuing us with, okay? So whether we're going through a particularly difficult life lesson or not, that is what that life lesson or whatever it is, whatever the communication, the message may be, that is the energy through which it is being transmuted. And I think remembering that really just helps us here on earth to have more compassion for ourselves as well as each other, which is super important, especially in a time like now. So I'm just gonna take a sip of water. Libra, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if the reading resonates, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so through my website or reach out to me with any questions. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Bye.